Yo, and we are live. And that's another Detroit Pistons win. It seems like more times than not when we sit down, it's just for a dub, man. They only have 11 losses on the season, man. But this team still goes out there. Yeah, I don't even know what to say, man. I don't even know what to say. Only 11 losses on the season. We are past the halfway mark. This team has now pushed their win total, their win pace to well over 60 games, man. Like, it's an amazing thing right now. And what I like about this one is this. Yeah, Sacramento came in missing Zach LaVine. Sacramento came in missing Keegan Murray. But they still had Domantas Sabonis. They still had DeMar DeRozan. And they still had some guys that go out there and make it scrappy. And in the past, you see some of these guys, we've seen the Pistons basically play around with teams that we think that they should have beat badly. And we've been talking about, like, I know my guy Platty, he's always saying, look, man, I just want to see this team go out there and handle teams and put away teams that they are supposed to, man. And here you go. Detroit Pistons win again, 139-116 over the Sacramento Kings. Yo, let's get this court in the way. The fans are out taking their last shots, man. We had a good press conference as well. Wasn't too long of a press conference, but it was meaningful. There wasn't a whole lot to break down with this game because the Pistons went out there and handled business. You talking about your number 2 defensive team in the league, and it's not just that they're number 2, is that they continue to improve that defensive efficiency rating as well. That's the key to a Detroit Pistons victory, man. So, look, we're going to go through this box score. I want you guys in the chat as well to tell me some of the things that stood out to you for this game. Shout out to Ron Holland as well. I know he got ejected today. Keon Ellis, I think he had a little bit of an acting class, a little bit of flopping class, but overall, man, shout out to those Detroit Pistons getting the win. And I see IAG's in the chat says the Patriots are heading to the Super Bowl. It's going to be an interesting thing, man. Let me see here. This win was trash. K needed this because he's in a slump. How was this win trash, Cortez? Bro, I'm so confused right now, man. I'm so confused, man. And I ain't say that. I see you, $2 Super Chases. Ha, ha, ha. Little Piston stream on Sunday. Let's go. Definitely let's go, man. Shout out, man. I saw the legend Lindsey Hunter in the back there. I see Grant Long down the way over here, man. And there's still a whole lot of happy Pistons fans here. And this is what I got to say, man. Shout out to Pistons fans. The snow, the roads aren't even really plowed, but they actually showed up. It wasn't a packed arena, but this arena was more full than I've seen it be in some of the other down years, or even last year when people were still getting acclimated to who the Detroit Pistons were, if they were a real team. Like, look, yo, this is well after the press conference, man. The game been ended. It's still people out here taking shots. There's still people on the far end going down the stairs to take their shots. Today was Kids Day, man, so it was pretty dope, man. This was pretty dope. I see you, Cortez. He said, what up, Kool-Aid, man? I'm just talking mess. I ain't gonna lie, though, man. We looked at K when they brought him back in the game. It's like 7 minutes left to go. And we were sitting here like, why is Kate even in this game? We were like, maybe they just want him to get his 30-piece. They hit a couple buckets. It was like clear, like after the Ron Holland shove and all that, like get K out of the game, bro. This game is done. And honestly, that's the way I want to see the Pistons play in these games like this. I thought that the Kings would bring in a little bit of pedigree here. Yes, they've sucked, but we've seen some of those teams that got some scrappy players or NBA players go and make it a game and ultimately lose it in the end late to the Detroit Pistons. But in this one, we saw the Pistons go out there and they didn't let anybody get comfortable for the Kings of consequence. Domantas Sabonis had a little stretch there where he scored maybe 2 or 3 buckets in the paint, but really he was a pedestrian all night. Dennis Schroeder went and took that starter's money, and it was like, okay, it's cool to see you over there. But realistically, when Danish Jenkins was getting the minutes, he was out there matching what Dennis Schroeder was doing. So it's just like, this squad is in such a good spot. You can come in with your team. You can have some scrappy players. You can have some players that others might want to trade for. Like, shout out Malik Monk. Had a hell of a dunk tonight. None of that really mattered tonight. There was nothing that the Kings were able to do to create any type of momentum for themselves, any type of energy for themselves. Even a little, it was a couple little chippy moments in the game. None of that mattered, man, at all, man. So shout out to Cade Cunningham, who I thought he put up a really, really good game in this one. Was very patient, probed from the beginning, looking for his teammates, getting the ball out there, and wound up with a double-double tonight. Cade Cunningham does finish with 29 points and 11 rebounds and 11 assists and 5 rebounds. He was 3 and 5 from beyond the arc. When we talk about shooting, man, this was one of those games that I was actually like, you know what? Shout out to the Pistons because they shot 52% from beyond the arc. 52%, man. That was probably the most awesome thing to see. We also got 8 players in double figures for the Pistons, and they just missed out on having 9 because Isaiah Stewart scored 8 points in this game. So, hey, and I see you guys as well in the chat, man. Let me see. He said, I don't know how you can get a trash man. He was just messing, y'all. Cortez is one of those dudes, man. Happy Sunday. Kool-Aid, I believe that Pistons. Hey, I see you, Steve-O, baby. What is he saying here? I believe that loss to the Rockets made the Pistons angry. Kool-Aid, because you don't want to make the Pistons angry. No, and they talked about that, too. That was one of the questions that was asked, From game to game, I think that this team feels embarrassed when they don't play up to their identity. You're going to have some losses, but when you get beat because another team is out physically you, when you get beat because another team is stepping in that paint and trying to do what you do, that's the type of stuff that I think messes with you because you don't feel like yourself. And the Pistons, when you get a bounce back win like this, it's not just this dub. You want to see this team continue to go out there and string together some wins and consistency because that's what's bolstered them in this first half. That was one of the most key things I told you guys I was looking at for the Pistons this year. We know that they're a good team. We know that they jumped to the 44 wins. We know that everyone expects playoffs this year. But are they going? What are they going to do to actually get there? What are the signs you could do, especially early on and up to the halfway point of the season to see? And for me, it was effectively how they respond after wins and not just one win. Teams go through stretches. Sometimes you might lose 2 games. Sometimes you might lose 3 games. Sometimes you might have a stretch where you just don't feel like yourself. Who are you going to be to pull yourself out of those slumps? Because when you hit the playoffs, that's the whole point. Shortened rosters, legs are more dead, shots are more flat. That's when it's winning time. And what I see out of the Detroit Pistons this year is the ability to show and prove that they're valuing every single possession. So whether the shots are falling or not, this team is going out there and telling teams, look, if you're not up on it every single night, we're running you out of our gym. They put up a season high 78 points at halftime, man. So shout out. And if you guys are here, man, thank you for being here. Go ahead and smash that like button as we talk about the Kings and the Pistons win. Hey, 139-116 for the Pistons win, man. The Kings, they tried to play a little chippy. They tried to get up in the Pistons because I think that's the only way realistically that you're going to be able to have some type of ability to compete with them, especially when you're coming in short-handed. You got to match their physicality, and there's not a lot of teams in this league that can do that, man. So as we go through it, Tobias Harris, I thought he played good. Everybody tonight seemed to just really shoot well. The Pistons shot 55% from the floor, 52% from beyond the arc. And I see you, Cortez, about Ivy. We're going to definitely get there in a little bit. Tobias Harris, 16 points, 6 of 12 from behind the arc, 3 assists and 2 rebounds for him. Duncan Robinson, 13 points, 3 of 6 from behind the arc, 5 of 9 from the floor. And Jalen Duren, 18 points, 7 of 8 from the floor, 6 rebounds. They didn't really need him a lot tonight. But there was a stretch where it looked like, okay, Domantas Sabonis is getting off a little bit. What you about to do, Duren? And then Duren came right back and answered with a couple plays. And realistically, you didn't really hear much from Domantas Sabonis the rest of the way. Just to put it out there, Domantas Sabonis only had 12 points tonight. He did have 8 assists and 7 rebounds, and he's a player that's going to stuff the stat sheet all night. But in terms of him being able to impose his will on the offensive side of the court, he wasn't able to do that at all. Neither was really anybody from the Sacramento Kings. They do get themselves a few people in double digits because it's a high-scoring affair. They had 7 people reach double digits tonight. But other than Malik Monk, nobody realistically had over 15 points. I think Monk had 19, DeRozan had 16. Everybody else was but 15 and under. So the Pistons defense, it's amazing to see the defense continuing to improve because I thought that they were already at their best. I thought, okay, look, this team is number 4 in the league in defensive rating just 2 months ago. They've upped that to number 2 in the league. And the first time we tracked this and that they were number 2 in the league, the defensive rating was above 110. Since then, they've seen their defensive rating be as low as 107 per game, and right now they sit at about 109.2 defensive rating per game. That's amazing. And they still have room to grow. I was able to ask J.B. Bickerstaff in the press conference about that, and I said, hey, look, a few months ago you said, though the team is playing good, there's still a few things to clean up before you're playing your best. What's the assessment of the team right now? He still feels like, look, man, I watch this film all the time, and I'm telling you, it gets to me. There's some more things that I know we can clean up. So this squad can still get better. We know offensively that there's still some cohesion and some chemistry to come. And I'm glad that they've went and played the depth as much as they have. I believe that after the All-Star break is where we're going to see rotations start to even normalize out. Not that they won't go into their depth, but after the All-Star break, if they make a move or if they don't, you're going to see if this team really be able to commit in a direction down the stretch. But shout out to this defense, man, for really, really keeping things in check and not letting the Kings get too comfortable. They snuffed out any runs. I think they did it because they just stayed nasty and aggressive all game, man. That's what I love about the Detroit Pistons team. And before we go further in the box score, You still got fans out here taking this last shot, man. You still got fans coming down those stairs. Hey, what up, though, man? The Pistons won again. It's won again. Hey, shout out, man. Hey, Dubs in the chat. They said put the Dubs in the chat. Shout out to the fans, dog. Yo, it's been such a hype environment, man. It's been such a hype environment. So put those Dubs in the chat. Smash that like button for your Detroit Pistons. But Cade Cunningham, 29 and 11 and 5. We talked about his stats as well. And when you expand it out just a little bit too, Cade Cunningham had 4 stocks. I was waiting until we talked about stocks so we got to him. He was out there balling, man. Defensively, you saw him diving on the floor and everything. And that's what I like to see. The correlation of Cade Cunningham having a good game, you know, it's not just that he went out there to try and look for his shot. You saw him doing even more as it relates to the hustle. Cade hustles and plays defense. The stats show that he's one of your better defending players in the league and one of your better defending superstars in all of the NBA. I wouldn't be surprised if he got some all-NBA, all-defensive team considerations. He's diving on the floor and he was doing a lot. And it seemed like that activity also helps to contribute to this team playing well on offense. This was a night where you saw a lot of guys diving on the floor. This was a night where you saw these guys really, really bunker down as it relates to, look, we thought we were valuing every possession, but there's a whole another level to go. And that's what we saw to the Pistons. And it's also when you get that out of your star player. 1 block and 3 steals from Cade Cunningham tonight, man. Tobias Harris had 2 steals. Jalen Duren had 3 stocks, 2 steals and a block. And Asar Thompson had 2 steals. Everybody but Duncan in that starting lineup had at least 2 steals or more. Usually we're sitting here thinking it's the bench unit that's taking things from defense to offense really, really quick. But tonight it was the starters who just seemed to set a tone on the defensive side of the floor tonight. They didn't have to wait for Ron to come in. They didn't have to wait for Javonte Green to get into the game. And that's what I loved about this win tonight, man. It was so, so dope to see. And you know what? As we go on, Asar Thompson, he had 5 points tonight. Only took 5 shots, but he had 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. And I thought that his defense was key early on at really snuffing out anything that the Sacramento Kings thought that they could have, man. Let me see here. We got B-Ball Paul. He got in at the end. Bobby Clintman got in at the end. Marcus Sasser, who I would like to see get more minutes. And Chaz Lanier hit a bucket tonight. I liked his minutes out there, 2 rebounds and such. They didn't have too many minutes, but some of those guys I would love to see be able to get something and make something happen, man. The guys who did get those minutes, though, I'm going to save Jay and Ivy for last. Isaiah Stewart, 8 points, 2 of 6 from the floor. But he just played gritty and grizzled all night. 2 blocks for him, 8 rebounds. This is what you need out there on the court. Ron Holland, I thought he was playing really, really good. And, you know what? He put the little shove on at the end, got ejected. The crowd, they definitely cheered for him on his way out. They didn't like the fact that, oh, boy, Keon Ellis flopped on that. And they thought that, you know, Ron should have stayed in the game. It'll be interesting to see what the NBA does from here. If they deem that suspense, you know, something that you can get suspended over. But I'm hoping double tech and getting out the game, you know, just ejection. I'm hoping that's it. But technically, I would not be surprised if there was a suspension. I see you, Artman Driver says Holland going to be suspended. I don't know, man. Like I said, it fits like everything that you need to have happen. It happened. It wasn't just the play during the play. It was a reaction, then another reaction, and then a reaction. Like those 3 things in a row, it could be hard to just say, you know what, this was in the heat of the game. I hope he doesn't get suspended, though. I really hope he doesn't get suspended, man. But, yep, got to do a better job with the turnovers. It's still toward the bottom of the league in turnovers, 100%. We're going to check out these team stats in a little bit, too. That's the one thing that can sink them. You know, you talk about offensive cohesion. When you don't really have the 3-point shooters of other teams, you can't give away extra possessions, and you can't allow as many second chance points or second chance opportunities as we've seen them do. Those are 2 things that they can control, and that's why I do believe you see them going out there even more so on the defensive side of the ball, trying to take away even more. But it would be nice to see the team go out there and put together a nice stretch where they are taking care of the basketball, man. I 100% agree with you on that one, neighborhood homies. I see you. Heck of a chat name, too, bro. I love that, man. And I see Cortez. He said, yo, hit that like button for Kool-Aid. He out there in the song. Bro, it's been crazy, man. And honestly, man, it's been a long day, too, man. We had the Lions show earlier. Shout out to my guy, Broder. Shout out to Stick and Hefe. El Hefe was in the chat, was in the TD booth today. So we had that show earlier, had some social work, and then we get down here to the Pistons, man. And it's been a good day. You know, later I'm going to go home, got a little bit of work to do. Probably do another little stream on Woodward Pistons a little bit later to talk about the state of the Pistons again. And if you didn't get an opportunity to, Go back and you'll see it a couple days ago, Thursday actually. We had the first half review at the Motor City Cruise game at Wayne State Fieldhouse. Called on some of my friends from the media room here, man. Summer Weathers, Puka Hill. We also had Downtown Deuce, Chris Platty, Baltimore Platty's in the building. KG and I from the Woo Crew, we were connected. And it was awesome. I even got to interview the president of basketball operations for the Cruise. Got to give their vision for what they hope to see, not just on the court, but also off the court. So appreciate you guys for being here. Go ahead and smash that like button. Continue to get your thoughts in the chat, man. Every game I want to break this down and hear what you guys have to say as well, man. But hey, we go through this box score some more. Shout out to B Stu for just continuing to be consistent, and Ron Holland for just doing what he does. He also hit 4 of 4 from the free throw line, and Javonte Green was 9 of 9 from the free throw line. So whenever there's attacking those guys on the floor, send them to the line. I'm still waiting for Sar, Jalen Kay Cunningham, man, to definitely make sure they can put in more 100% nights than not, man. But shout out to Ron Holland and Javonte Green there. And Ron Holland, man, you look at his impact. He's just all over the stat sheet, man. 1 steal, 2 assists, 4 rebounds before he got tossed. Javonte Green, he's a guy who I feel like you could bet on this every single game. If you could bet on this, lock it in, okay? Javonte Green, anytime, fast break steal. This dude turns defense and offense at least once or twice a game. I'm just used to it. Him going out there and getting the steal somewhere at the top of the key and racing down it. Shout out to Eric Vincent for plus points. He was like, he probably going to miss the layup, though. But you know what? He hits his free throws. So shout out to my guy, Javonte Green, man. Did his thing tonight. I love the energy he brings every single night. Again, 9 of 9 from the free throw stripe, 4 rebounds, and check this out, 4 steals. So he joins Cade in leading the team in stocks tonight at 4. Shout out to Jaden Ivey. And I'm going to go back and look at some of these Jaden Ivey comments because I know there was one a little bit earlier. Cortez, Kool-Aid, how you feel about Ivey? We need more from him. I wonder, for me personally, and I see another one here from MGO Blue 9, says Ivey doesn't look as explosive as he did pre-injury. And no, that's the thing. These types of injuries, even though you guys see him out there playing ball, he's not going to have an opportunity to experience or even see if he can be the same level of athleticism or speed or what he can get back until after a year. Most doctors will tell you, and I did talk to Dr. Pierce about this as well, Michigan Sports and Spine. You'll see him on Woodward Sports as an injury insider. And he discussed the fact that, he's going to be back. But this year is all about his muscles and his bones and everything getting reacclimated to all of the new pressure and contact that he's going to be going through. Just to put it in perspective, remember the arthroscopic knee surgery he had to have right before the season? That's a notion of it. When you're putting so much pressure on a particular joint to rehab, you wind up potentially putting so much stress on other parts of your body, and it has to reacclimate. And so I do believe that we're going to see Jaden Ivey next year be a little bit more like himself. And he'll be able to go into the offseason and actually specifically train on different things. This year, I'm sure it was all about bulking up the muscle and in that leg so that broken leg can have as much support as possible. Next year, I can see him working on things like fast twitch. And that's a real thing, man. I remember when I was in college, my trainer when she was in school and before she graduated with her secondary degree, like a master's in physical therapy or training, she was over at my college, Columbia Union, and she was dope. She wound up getting picked up by a Minnesota Gophers basketball team. So she knew what she was talking about, man. And she talked about these types of things and the fact that the fast twitch has to be something that's trained. Coming back from injury, a lot of times you're not training that. And so what Jaden Ivey had naturally, or what he thought he had naturally, that's something that he's going to have to go back and train on this offseason. And there's specific things that you do to be able to help train what's called fast twitch. When you see guys be able to change direction on the fly as fast as he was, those are muscles that are a little bit more weak right now. And I do believe that as the course of the season goes on, he's going to get time after the season to let his body basically say, what the hell was that last 82 games? Where the heck did that come through after, the missing of so much time with that broken leg? So it's like, I know that don't help us right now because we want to see the Jaden Ivey evolve. Even he had a breakaway dunk or he cut baseline, which we're going to talk about that. The offense, I saw some wrinkles today that I want to continue to see. But he wound up cutting and he got the dunk, but it was just kind of, stuff you see, from your rec league guys who are, high school heroes. But, you know what? That's what you're going to see. But I thought you saw some good things from him tonight. The three-point shot is something that I continue to be confident about. If you're going to have him on this team, He's going to have to be able to knock down some shots. And he was 3 of 4 from behind the arc, 4 of 6 tonight overall. And he only got 11 minutes. Some of that is going to have to do with his defense. Now, on the year, he's shooting 46% overall, 8.4 points. And obviously, that's a whole lot down because of the minute restrictions and because that speed just isn't what it's been. But overall, in terms of the things that we like from Jaden Ivey this season, man, I like the fact that he's shooting about 37% from behind the arc this year. And he's found a way to get it in there and take 3.3 3-pointers a game. So if Jaden Ivey can continue on the arc that he was on, like last year, he was at 41% from behind the arc. The year before that, he was at about 34%. But the last 15, 16 games of the season, he actually upped that up to 36, 37%. So we can see this type of Jaden Ivey where he's going to go out there and take 3 to 5 threes a game in his limited minutes even, and still be able to go out there and get you, 37 to 40% from behind the arc. I think that that's a player worth having on your team, especially coming off the bench. He understands your system. He understands the chemistry. He wants to play for these guys. I don't believe that Jaden Ivey wants to go anywhere. Now, if there's a deal out there that you just can't refuse that will make your team better, then go on ahead and you have to do what you have to do. But I do believe eventually we will see a Jaden Ivey who is a little bit faster and that's have that burst. But right now, you're 100% right, and it does hinder a lot of what Jaden Ivey is trying to do. Even defensively, that fast switch will affect everything. And he's trying to defend some of your quick guards and such off the bench, the ones come off the bench that are even hungry. So, but I did like some of the moments that he had in that game. It was a stretch where he did have some threes, and he had a nice, like I said, backdoor cut. And that's something, man. With this Pistons offense, I really, 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 really liked how much this team was cutting. It was like I would look up and it was just there was somebody else cutting backdoor or cutting from the top of the key. K get double teamed. Someone's cutting and filling the space. Like I saw it much better today than we did before. And I know I was talking about this on one of the other streams. Look, if Cade is double teamed or somebody, if your player has his head turned, cut behind him. And I remember some of y'all in the chat was like, bro, yep. I remember my coach telling me the same thing. It's fundamental. Today, I actually saw them doing those things deliberately and just absolutely making hay in the paint. That's what you got to see. This team is a team of activity. This is a team of energy. This is a team with athleticism. This is a team with speed. Even Jaden Ivey was able to catch him slipping, get back door, and hit the dunk from the right side of the court, going towards the left side, going towards the middle. So I love that wrinkle. Tell me, some things that you guys loved about this team today as well. And let me see here. Bro, how did you get your start in this business? Shout out Life with Chris. I've been in media for a while. Out in the East Coast, I started with Tom Jordan Morning Show, music, TV, and some other things behind the scenes, street team. But honestly, it was try to be as humble as possible. Street team approach, took any job that was available and just tried to support the people at the top. Honestly, never really shot to try and be anybody at the top. I always tried to shoot to just, if there was a situation that was wanting of me, that I would just go there and support the team. And, this is where I've enjoyed probably the most success in this media journey. And I've been grateful largely because of the people here. I've had a lot of good mentors. A lot of people have opened the door. And that honestly has been something that's helped me in this industry, man, honestly. So I appreciate your super chat and your question, but definitely stay true to it. If you guys love this stuff and you're passionate about it, take a professional approach to it, but don't lose the passion that makes you a fan. Straight up, man. So thank you for that, man. I appreciate you. I see you here, man. We need 2 stars. Are you saying that we need like Jalen Duren to get in, or are you saying that we need another star to add next to Cade Cunningham, who's in that superstar ascension, Jalen Duren, who's approaching that star ascension? I do believe we need another just bucket getter. I will say that. I like what this team looks like when they're moving and everything, but in the playoffs, when offenses get a little bit more stagnant, defenses get a little bit more stout, the referees start to swallow their whistles a little bit more, that's where I would love to see a guy that can absolutely go out there and get it. And I've been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth between what exactly should happen. Do you go after the MPJ type of person who we finally see him for the first time in his career up over 20 points per game average, but it took him going from 20% usage to 32% usage? Or do you want the Trey Murphy type, or even more of a less heralded pick, but impactful sign like Dennis Schroeder type last year? I think that the Pistons win no matter where they go. But when you look at MPJ, at first I thought that 32% usage was a hurt. But now I'm thinking when K sits down, you need a guy who you know if the ball's in his hands, he can get buckets. And so I would not mind that at all. I've been thinking on it over and over and over again. And we know for a fact that man can get buckets with the ball in his hand. So shout out. And I see some of you guys putting it in there. Give me Porter. Shout out Life with Chris. And Laurie Markin. That's a bucket getter. The defense leaves some to be desired, but that is a bucket getter. And it'll be interesting to see what way the Pistons take because there's a lot of money out there with some of these guys. Like we were even talking about like a Domantas Sabonis who's making over $40 million a year for the next 3 years. So even if you wanted to go out there and get a guy like that, like if you weren't the Pistons or if you didn't have Duran, that even comes with a hefty price tag. So that's some of the stuff that you got to worry about when you're the Pistons approaching this trade deadline. And I ain't say that with a $5 super chat. Kool-Aid, can we start seeing visions of Larry O'Brien? The NBA, I feel like, is wide open despite OKC. The Pistons have a big chance these coming months. You know what I was saying? All year, I think we've been slowly but surely raising the expectations of this Detroit Pistons team. And when you talk about the team going from 14 to 44 and just bypassing the play-in, a lot of people thought that the next natural progression for this team was the play-in last year. But they went in and they said, no, we want the whole thing as it relates to playoff spot. This year, you're talking about this team going in, and I think really everybody's expecting them to at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Everyone. At first, I heard people say, hey, first they're going to have to do something to win a series. But after you see this team first place for as long as they've been, we're beyond the halfway point. We're almost at the All-Star break. We're almost beyond trade deadline. This is when you say, you know what? I think that this team's floor is Eastern Conference Finals, and their ceilings is getting in there. I believe they make one impactful move, then yes, you're talking about a team whose defense is number 2, only to OKC's. There's no other teams in the league who have defensive ratings under 110 per game. So the Pistons are going to give themselves a chance against OKC. But OKC's offense is something serious. And if the Pistons can't match certain firepower or hit the big three when it matters most, we saw how that sunk them last year. Beyond that, you want to see these guys, I'm going to continue to say this, take care of the ball. They can take care of the ball. I think that gives this Pistons another leg up because they're going to need every single offensive possession that they can get, man. I see you, my guy. Freddie Fell, my brother. He said, Kool-Aid, live from LCA, man. I'm going to see if we can get a sweep at some point in time this season and be able to bring some of you guys out, man. Straight up. I would love to be able to experience Detroit Pistons basketball with you guys, or if not, heck, man, I'll take one of my little check-to-checks. And I'm looking up here, man. If y'all don't mind being up in the nosebleed with me, man, we'll get up there and try and get 10 of y'all up there, man. So continue to support, continue to smash that like button for real, man. I see you guys, man. I see you guys. Will the trade be made? Everybody's wondering what's going to happen. And I was thinking with some of these post games, running through the box score a little bit quicker and getting into the meat and the things that matter. While we were trying to feel out what this team was going to be for the first half of the season, it's like, all right, let's go through the box score because we're not going to make any long, drawn-out conclusions. But now I believe that we're in a point where we can actually make these a little bit more topical. I think we're going to have some topics. But I see, will a trade be made? People want Bobby Portis or Trey Murphy. It'd be interesting to see, man, because that's what's on everybody's mind right now is what the Pistons are going to do. I wonder how much of that is what the Lions didn't do, what the Tigers didn't do to bolster the fact that they were the best teams in the league at the trade deadlines like a few years ago and last year. What the Red Wings didn't do for 2 years in a row, even though they had opportunities to try and make the playoffs, and they just missed out. With these Pistons, what's the actual situation here? Do they need to make that move, or are they what the organization has said, good enough to compete and get there this year? For a lot of us, I know that we're in a position where we're just like, you guys got to do something. Well, it is too many times we see our warts. In this industry, the one thing I've really tried to do more and more is look at other teams to try and see their warts too. And I'm telling you, there's some other squads out there that look similar to the Pistons, but I will lean towards the side of just a little bit more scoring impact. I think will really, really help this Detroit Pistons team a lot, man. I really, really do. Let me see here. I'm planning on going to the Cavs game in a month. I'll be in touch. Freddie, definitely do, man. Definitely do. When you're in here, man, you already know you're one of those ones, man. I'll try and get you down here, and we'll get a selfie on the court or something like that. Straight up. Keep me posted on that. Because that's what this platform is supposed to be about, especially the diehards that will tap in on a football Sunday after a Pistons win. Like, even well after the win. I had to go to the press conference, had to get some content done, ran into the legend Lindsey Hunter back there in the Players Club, And shout out to Aaron Hollis, ran into him, the fan of the year from a couple years back. Been getting himself in some trouble talking to all the players. He the one that KD was going at. He the one that Dylan Brooks was going at. He's had some viral moments this year, man. He's the one Westbrook was going at. Pretty fire stuff, man. So always got to make sure I say what I'm doing to my people. And you guys still are showing up. So smash that like button. I'm going to try and make sure that I do some good things for y'all. And when we do these streams of Motor City Cruise, I'll try and make sure y'all know in advance. Show up to those. It's a cheap ticket. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to have the content creators that you guys follow and know in the building. And time for you guys to rap with us. And honestly, jump on the microphone as well. So shout out, man. And I see you, Art Man Driver. He said a sweet would be sweet Kool-Aid. I've been trying for a few years. I'm happy that they let us do the stream for Motor City Cruise. And I believe that we handled ourselves appropriately. So now, got my eyes set on a sweet. And I'm looking right up here, man. Look. Right up above the 100 level. You see those red? There's some sweets up there. Sometimes they let me sit up in there as media. I'm going to see if I can bring some fans to the game, man. So I'm going to start talking to them for real. Because you guys have been awesome. The fans deserve this access. That's why I try and cover the game the way I do. If you follow me on socials at Detroit Kool-Aid, if you follow at Woodward Pistons, if you follow at Woodward Sports, you're going to see just different angles of this thing, man. And I'm hoping to kick this thing back up in the high gear where it's more of you all that I'm interviewing. Early on, it was a lot of fan interaction. We're going to get back to that, especially now this arena is packed. Packed, man. Shout out to Detroit Pistons fans for showing back up. And Randall Smalls says, great coverage. Kool-Aid, Randall Smalls, you my guy. Thank you, brother. And he says, in Andrews, what up, though? Kool-Aid, no, man, what up, though, to y'all, man? We talking about these Pistons who won again. And I started off the stream kind of flabbergasted, man, tripping over my words because it's like this Detroit Pistons team only has 11 losses. Like, they've won 3 times more than they've lost this year. They're sitting at 33-11. Your Detroit Pistons, number 1 team in the East, number 2 team defensive rating overall. Your guy, Cade Cunningham, was number 1 vote out of all the players, man. This is a big season. Jalen Duren's at the table saying, you know what, I don't care if I make the All-Star. I know that team success is individual success. So if I make it, I make it. It'll be a great honor. But that's not what my focus and my drive is. That's what these guys are saying. That's why you see them going out there playing like there's so much more on the line than just even the game ahead of them. They're going out there like they know each and every one of these wins is a building block towards what they're trying to do to give you guys a long playoff run out there. Hey, you know what? We're going to wrap up soon here because they're starting something else special over here.
Y'all got to be way better than that. We're here to have some fun.
Starting some cool stuff here, man. LC and the Pistons, shout out. Freddie Phelps and Kool-Aid in a time where athletes are questioning if fans no ball. You, in fact, no ball. Freddie, I respect you, bro. And look, we're about to run through the team stats before I let y'all go. And I let them have their fun over here, man. There's a lot of cool stuff that they're doing over here, man, for kids and such, man. Shout out to the Pistons, but they shoot 55% from 3. The Kings shoot 44% from 3, but the Pistons shoot 52%. The 3-ball was falling, but the Pistons defense overall was still running around and making things uncomfortable for the Kings in that second half. Free throws, shot 82% to the Kings, 61 rebounds. Pistons get back to business. 43 rebounds to the Kings, 33. But this is a problem here. They gave up 12 offensive rebounds tonight. They're going to have to find something to do. They're going to have to find a way to do that a little bit different. Those offensive rebounds to a team like an OKC will sink you. You can't give elite teams or playoff teams second chance points. And the Pistons have done this now a couple times against teams that make a concerted effort to get into the paint. So that's one thing I want to see them clear up. Beyond that, man, let me see. They lost their assist battle tonight, 32-31, but they pulled K early. 15 steals, 5 blocks for your Pistons. They do lead the stocks battle 20-14 tonight in turnovers, 19 turnovers. Whoever said it earlier, that's the thing to me that's just like, that just breaks my heart a little bit. And that's why I wanted to ask JB, what his assessment of this team was today. There's still a few things to clean up for this team to get better, but guess what? The number 1 team in the East can still get better, man. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Points in the paint tonight, 58-52. It was a lot of cuts, a lot of actions, some second chance points for the Kings that made it a little bit closer than it normally is for the Detroit Pistons, man. But largely, this was a game that the Pistons had in their control. The largest lead was 25. And ultimately, they win by 23 points. This is a butt kicking, man. That's what you want to see out of them. When it's a handle your business game, go out there and handle your business, man. I see you guys out there too, man. I'm going to go up here and put up a few more comments before I sign off. And thank you guys for being here. Smash that like button, y'all. Smash that like button. They got something special going on over here. So shout out to the Pistons, man. It never stops, bro. Let me see here. I see you, Sock. He says, "What up, though? This team has so much heart." That's a word right there, man. I love that, man. Stones ain't playing. Put some respect on our team. Straight up, I like that. But put some respect on our name, man. Shout out. Let me see who else. Dante151. Hey, Kool-Aid, could you see DeMar DeRozan as a potential target for the Pistons? He averaged almost 19 a game, almost 4 assists, and 3.3 rebounds. When you talk about ISO ballers that can just go get theirs, and you don't have to worry about babysitting them at all, that's DeMar DeRozan. Does got the connection with, front office exec Dwayne Casey. But it'll be interesting. They were interested in him in the past. I'm sure that they at least pick up the phone and just say, hey, what's the price tag on him? But it'll be interesting to see, because I wonder if they're looking at a guard or if they're looking for somebody that can come in and play a little bit bigger, but still give them some scoring and stretching the floor ability. So it's going to be interesting to see, man. He said, bro, my son love watching y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for real, man. For real. Terrell Lamar, man, shout out. He said, my guy Kool-Aid, what up, though, man? What up, though, to y'all, man? This is dope, man. I had a couple fans that even, fans of the Pistons that hit me up via DM. They were in the arena taking pictures like, Kool-Aid, we see you working hard. And there's a lot of people out here working hard, man. So we appreciate you guys, man. Straight up. Anytime I hear from y'all, it goes a long way. Michigan Go Boot, $4.99 super chat says, he watched the Pistons game, then went hooping. Great day. Thank you, man. I love that type of stuff, man. I love that type of stuff. I used to hoop at halftime. I used to hoop pregame. I used to hoop after. It didn't even matter if it was winter. I would go out there and shove that boy and go out there and be practicing. One time I slipped, bust the back of my head. I didn't even care, bro. I didn't even care. Sat there for a minute, got up and went right back to it. I don't know if I was seeing stars or seeing snow after that, but I know I was hooping. That's Detroit, man. I love it so much, man. Let me see here. Some more comments I'm going to put up. The Pistons defense is what makes them good. Yes, it is. I just did an article, woodwardsports.com, on that. This team is still leading at the halfway point. You know why? It's the defense. It's only improved since we were already excited. Like, yo, this is a top 5 team in the defense. I remember the show 2-3 months ago. Since then, nobody's near them. There's a gap between OKC Pistons, and there's a gap between them and the next team. That's serious. That's championship caliber. So when Dante151 and others ask, is a championship, is the Larry O'Brien, is that something we can realistically think of? Yes, you realistically can. Now, OKC they're a juggernaut. They're a different monster. But in terms of this Pistons team, the pedigree and the heart, I don't count them out. They're still improving right now. So if this team continues at this rate and at this trajectory, it'll be very interesting to see what this team is. A lot of people believe that there's not going to be too many speed bumps for this Pistons team. Too many roadblocks. Really only speed bumps for this Pistons team in the playoffs. Think about it. That first round matchup, it's like, I want to see them win their first playoff series in a long time. Win your first playoff home game in over 15 years. But I'm sorry, the expectation is what the expectation is. You want to see this team go out there and handle business just the same way we see them doing night after night after night after night, man. And I see you, Terrence. J.I. is looking better. Is he still on a minutes restriction? I think he's still on a minutes restriction. I'm going to try and get into some Pistons practices this week. It's been harder this year because I'm on Braylon's show, which is a little bit later, so I got to be there to make sure I get things set up. But I'm going to try and get to at least a shoot-around, which is a little bit earlier, and see if we can ask some of those questions, man, and see what's up with Jay not being that minutes restriction. So I appreciate y'all. Any questions like that, send them. If there's questions y'all want me to ask, send them. This is our relationship. You know what? Y'all represent me. I represent y'all when I go into that press conference room. When I'm out here doing this media, I'm trying to make sure that we are putting something together that not just my mama will be proud of, but y'all too. So if there's questions y'all want, there's things we talked about, that's for me to go back. I had the credential because of the platform that we share with you guys. And so I'm supposed to be able to represent your voice in that room as much as I can. So I appreciate you guys whenever we get questions and things of that nature. So Sock said, Kool-Aid, you and Broder have the best positive energy at the network. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you for y'all working positive, can-do attitude. No, I appreciate y'all, man. I'm telling you, I've never been uplifted like this before. I was sort of like my close family. You guys have meant the world. And you know what? Pistons winning makes a big difference as well, man. So shout out. But I appreciate y'all, man. Overall, with these Pistons, they handle business. And that's what I'm used to seeing them do, man. So shout out. Let me see here. Dang, I'm in section 104. What up, though? I seen you there before. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Section 104, right over there. I see it right above most games. I see it right above the visitors' tunnel. So when I come down, I see the visitor, the opposing team walking. So if you look at my post-game videos, you'll see me every night. More times than not. I say, yo, look, it's the visitors taking that walk of shame. Haven't had to do that for the Pistons much this year because they've been kicking butt and taking care of business. So it's been pretty awesome, man. And I'm forever grateful for these opportunities, forever grateful for the ability to get on here and talk to stuff. But you know what? I want to be able to talk with y'all more. I'm dead serious. So if you guys are in the building, always hit me up, man. I don't got no problem interviewing you guys, getting you up on Woodward Sports and all that type of stuff. So if you see me, definitely flag me down and say, what up, though, Kool-Aid? We'll get content right away and make sure that the best of Pistons world can be out there, man. That starts with y'all. But overall, good gritty win for the Pistons. There wasn't much to even really be concerned about except for the turnovers. And some of that, I think, is them. They get careless sometimes. I want to see them continue this ascent as it relates to valuing every single possession. They value the defensive possessions. They're going to have to match that on the offensive side. That's where we see this Pistons team kind of struggling a little bit. They're going to have to lock in. They have to take care of the ball much better. You want to see this team be one that's more at maybe say 13, 14 turnovers per game at most. You want a bad turnover game to be like 15, not 19. They gave up 22 points to the Kings in terms of that. That's just too much. I'm telling you, a better team will lunch. OKC will take your cookies, and they'll tell you cry about it somewhere else. So it's like, we talking about that Larry O'Brien. You want to see a Pistons team equip themselves throughout the entire playoffs. But even these little things will keep them from being able to get there. So shout out to the Pistons, though, man. I don't got much to complain about with them, man. It's overall, it's good vibes. It's good times. Shout out to JB Bickerstaff. He's named the All-Star, East All-Star, or not even East anymore, All-Star coach. So he's the Eastern Conference coach who has the bestest team locked in the best record. And it really locked in the best record after February 1st. So it really pays, a lot of credence to what Jenna Durham was saying. Team success will equal individual success. So shout out to you guys. Let me see if there's anything else. Kool-Aid King explained the ejection on Ron Holland. It was a hostile act. If it was a push or a shove kind of within the frustration of the actual play, he probably just gets the tech. But because it was after the play and a full two-hand shove, even though old boy flopped, even though Ron was just retaliating, that crosses a line. And so that one is one he had to be ejected for, and it'll be interesting to see if he gets suspended. I hope he does it because Keon Ellis was baiting him. Keon Ellis actually initiated the initial contact. It was ruled a double technical anyway. So if Ron just didn't push, we could have just gotten that call. He probably doesn't even get attacked. Just seriously, probably go back and then realize, Keon Ellis is the one who actually needs to be assessed the foul because he actually hooked Ron Holland's arm on the play. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this. And the NBA has been real weird this year. And with the Pistons team that's physical, this is part of it. Your identity is going to get you in trouble, even when you don't deserve it. We've seen Stu. The league has written letters. I remember when Joe Dumars wrote the letter to the Pistons announcing the suspension of Stu some time back. He said, it was like some play that happened. It was like, well, he didn't even deserve to be suspended. But they said, well, he's a repeat offender. This is what happens. And they have a reputation. So if you're going to be the bad boys, sometimes this is what comes with it. That's why I said that in other areas, they're going to have to value those possessions. You can't be giving up no easy possessions to the other team all night. 19 turnovers is crazy. But they won by so much, and they played so well, and they were able to go to their bench really, really early that it's just like, you know what? Kind of ride with it, but I got my eye on you turnovers. I got my eyes on you. I really do, man. Shout out to y'all for being here, man. Getting the Pistons beat the Sacramento Kings 139-116. And it's pretty cool. I don't know what they got going on out here, but it's pretty cool stuff going on. Pistons out here, man. There's a bunch of kids out here. They're about to do something. It's going to be cool to see what games they play. I see a couple basketballs coming out. And realistically, I just want to go out there and hoop, man. I don't care how old you are. You step out there on the court, man, you're getting crossed up. I gotta stop, man. My knees be aching sometimes. I'm too old for all that. But I appreciate y'all for being here, man. Like I said, smash that like button before you guys go, man. You can definitely tap in with us on. I'll be on Braylon's show tomorrow from 2 to 4, and then every Sunday you can catch me on Woodward Sports with my guy Matthew Broder. Terry Foster will be back after the off season, but your boy Kool-Aid will still be on the desk, man. So we Broder, Foster, and Kool-Aid up there with El Jefe and Crash Out Willie B in the sound booth. So appreciate you guys for being here. Shout out to those Detroit Pistons who win again, and shout out to you guys, man, for being here. Smash that like button for you go. Stay warm, stay safe. Go Pistons. Go Woodward Sports, man. That's why.